I don't remember a time when curling wasn't a part of my life. When I wasn't putting in the sweat and hard work to be the best that I can be. Clocking in the time, the effort to practice day in, day out. Curling is more than just a game. It's a family, a community. And when it's time to play, I know I'll be ready. Hardline, supporting hundreds of our next generation athletes.
It's Koana and Aoki throwing blue rocks. And a very pleasant good day and welcome to Vernon, BC for the Mixed Doubles Series, Super Series presented by Curling Stadium Vernon. I'm Dave Schmel along with Sean Joyce, and we're happy to be bringing in this match between Tori, Koana and Aoki, and they're playing Dean Hewitt and Tahli Gill. Sean, good to see you today, buddy.
Yeah, well, this is going to be tough on us. We were doing a 4-player event at Martinsville about 24 hours ago, so this is a little different.
Oh, we got a great helicopter that's luckily in the budget. So we have Koana and Aoki throwing the Yellowstones here. It is Gill and Hewitt throwing blue. They have the hammer here in end number 1. So Sean, since we said we're calling doubles, why don't you explain a couple of the differences in the doubles game to our possibly newer viewers?
All right. The main difference is, first of all, you don't use all 8 rocks. So they only throw 5 an end. Somebody will throw the first and the 5th. The other player throws the 3 in the middle. You can switch that up every end. Most teams do not. And then there are 2 stones that start every end, pre-positioned. There's one at the back of the 4th foot and a center guard. And the positions of the center guard can change according to ice conditions, but they'll make that decision before the event starts. And usually it stays in the same spot through the whole competition. The other major difference, and this was a change, I won a provincial title here in Saskatchewan in 2015, and that was before it was actually an Olympic sport. They were still trying to get it into the Olympics, found out shortly afterwards that they were going to. And once they did, they put in a couple of rule changes. And one of them was that you no longer have to have somebody holding the broom in the house. In traditional curling, typically, it's in the rules. Somebody has to hold the broom. So when you see a 4-player team, for instance, playing short-handed, they've only got 1 brusher because there has to be somebody holding the broom. You don't have to hold the broom anymore. So here you see the thrower and the brusher. Thrower jumps into the play as well, so you could get 2 brushers, but there's nobody to call line when you do that, which is interesting. And then the other thing that they added when they changed the rules, and we'll likely see this later on in the game, but each team, once in the game, gets a chance to throw what they call the power play. And when they throw the power play, instead of them starting on the center line, they'll start out at the edge of the 8 foot. So it's a chance to generate some extra offense for the team with last rock. Certainly you're not risking a steal when you start out there for the most part. The other reason it was brought in was that the shots every end tends to start the same prior to that rule change. So it gets interesting and the game moves quick. Even without time clocks here, it moves quick.
So we see Dean Hewitt there. ran through a run back because yellow had clogged up the center a lot there. So now we have
In a free guard zone. Sorry,
yeah,
Dave.
I'm sorry. Tori Koana has been throwing 2, 3, and 4 for this team.
The free guard zone's a little different too. It's not just a free guard. It's a free anything. You can't hit early in the ends. So there will always be lots of rocks in play. I was talking to I did the tiebreaker last night with Ed Simia, and one of the things we were chatting about, it's amazing. There's only 6 rocks for each team, including the pre-position one, and it's amazing how often 6s show up on the scoreboard. Way more common in doubles than 8 is in 4-player curling. This game is all about offense.
It was actually interesting. The quarterfinal I called with Ed this morning, we had 6 single-point ends in a row.
You know what, though, when you see that in doubles, that's a pretty good sign that both teams are playing really well, which you expect at the quarterfinals, right?
Yeah.
The game is set up so that the team without last rock can really put the pressure on. That stone at the back of the forefoot, and it's the back of the forefoot now. It used to be right behind the pinhole. If you made that freeze on a stone right behind the pinhole, it was usually just a question of how many you were stealing. Now, at least with it at the back of the forefoot, there's a chance for the team with last rock, but you see so many of the rule changes in 4-player curling in the last few years are designed to try to make it 50-50 so that the team with last rock doesn't have the huge advantage. Doubles is kind of there already, right?
Yeah, absolutely. It moves the game so much quicker. So now we see Dean Hewitt with his final stone in the first end, trying to hold the line here. Going to get the one and roll a little bit too far and spill on out.
Yeah, throwing that kind of weight, I think he was probably trying to double the yellows, which was always going to be tough. And he was going to lose the back blue anyway, but then he's not giving up any more than 2. It's Aoki that's throwing the last one, yes.
Yep.
For Aoki here, choices. You could sit this in the top of the forefoot and you got a pretty good chance to steal at least 1. You tap the one at the back, you could sit 3, but it does give Tahli Gill more room to come down and get her single. Played a little safe, just gets the guard.
So now ultimately it's going to be a tough draw for 1 around here to grab a piece of the button. Should have plenty of room to get there. No real way to get 2, is there?
I don't think so. Tahli's looking at whether or not she can play the hit through the port, and I don't think you can play that either.
This game is also being live streamed with Curling Australia, so thanks to all of our viewers down under who are joining us on Facebook. We're also live on Curling Zone Facebook and YouTube, of course, as you're watching us here. So great audience.
It's an interesting call. They're trying to come through the port, and in order to score, she's got to bite the button. Well, she'll be coming away from the center line.
Yeah, I find that kind of interesting myself. I would probably would have thrown the draw all day.
Well, she's still throwing the draw, but she's throwing it through the port, so she's actually going away from the center line, and she still needs to have a piece of the button when it stops. The sheet that I was looking at last night, I don't know whether this shot even would have been possible. It was just too much swing.
We had a lot of fish earlier, so let's see how this goes.
She threw a lot of handle. I think likely she's trying to straighten this rock out, but there you see, look at it go as it comes off that line.
It's going to go and slide by everything. It's going to be a steal of 1. for Tori, Koana, and Go Aoki. We'll be back in our semifinal right after this.
Handcrafted in the Revolution.
Don't forget your brooms.
Yep, you got it.
Come on up. Okay, well, what do you got? You got one, you got two, you got...
Just one more throw, please.
You make moments like these possible.
Yeah. And back here for the second end action of our semifinal match between Tori and Go Aoki versus Dean Hewitt and Tahli Gill. So that last shot, you mentioned that she added extra handle there.
Yeah.
Describe that to me.
Well, it's one of the things that can happen when you get into a spot like that where you know the ice is going to curl and you're trying to take some of the swing out of it. You throw a little bit extra rotation. It'll still move a bit at the end, but it'll hold it straighter earlier. As it turned out, like looking at how that one curled through the port, I don't think she ever could have straightened it out enough to hold the button on the tee line, but you did watch it coming most of the way down, that it took a long time before it started to curl. She threw it, we jokingly at times have called that a helicopter when you have to do that. And it is a skill. It's something that a lot of these players, and not just in the doubles, you'll see some of the 4-player teams play that as well, where they will practice that when they have to throw it. You get onto ice conditions that really swing, and you could throw a little bit more handle and it'll hold it out there longer. It's still going to curl at the end, so you don't have to worry about not burying something, but it allows you to make some shots that would be very difficult on swinging conditions otherwise. And you know, she had the right idea for the shot that she called. I'm still not convinced it was there.
Well, the most famous shot that we've seen of that in recent memory is Nicodine's big shot.
Yeah, that's the extreme example, I guess. The other thing is they'll carry farther. And remember, Nicodine's watching that. He hardly had any speed on it when it let go, but the rock with that much spin, it won't grab. It doesn't bite, so it doesn't slow down. It'll travel a little farther. It'll travel a little straighter, but Nick's is a good example. It's still curled plenty. Once they start to slow down, they curl.
I know we've all tried to copy that at some point, just playing around the club.
I think a lot of people did. A lot of people did after they saw that shot. Yeah.
You're like, oh, I could do that. I saw that on TV. So interesting setup here. That pre-placed rock is still sitting there.
Well, and this opens up an opportunity for Gill and Hewitt with that last stone kind of chipping the one out of the way. They've got a path to get to the top of the button buried here.
Here comes that big swing we were talking about.
Yeah, he might be by the guard. He's going to have a tough time getting by the yellow at the top of the 8.
Got right up to it and has a relatively good angle, but they do think that yellow is still second shot.
Yeah, it looks like it from here.
So, a couple options here, I would guess. You could just flip on in there, or too early to think about running your own yellow, I would think.
Probably. Well, especially when, you don't have last rock here, so if you tried running the yellow and it went wrong on you, you'd open up the middle, which, some things are universal, right? It's curling. You've got last rock, you want the middle open. Koana and Aoki here do not have last rock. They don't mind leaving the middle congested. They do have to make a shot here. I think what they indicated is they're going to try to come off their own on the side of the 8-foot, just chisel in off of it, maybe get to the freeze that way. It's close. It's real close.
Oh, look at that. They just wick on in there, and it comes almost dead locked on. Nice shot.
Yeah, might have liked to have gotten the. I think what they indicated is they're going to try to come off their own on the side of the 8-foot, just chisel in off of it, maybe get to the freeze that way. It's close. It's real close.
Oh, look at that. They just wick on in there, and it... All right, back live. What do they have?
Well, they got the double. It looks like that's what they're going to play. I mean, you've got choices too. He could come around with that same draw that he was playing and push the blue up into the shot rock position, but you have last rock here. You don't want to get everything so congested that it's hard to score more than one. If you can move that one out of the back of the button, that's the ideal right now, and this is your shot to do it.
Okay, here comes Dean Hewitt on the double takeout attempt.
Through
Looks
the big...
to be a little bit outside. The big weight's going to
Yeah.
make the takeout. And unfortunately, he didn't lead the shooter, so you don't have anything to work with later.
He needed some weight to make the double, but maybe should have taken a moment just to consider that a little bit more. You didn't have to get the second one out. You've got second shot at the back of the 4-foot. You're close for third at the top of the 4-foot. You only needed to get it out of the 4-foot. It wasn't a case where you had to come out of your shoes, which you kind of did to throw that. He had the big extension, and the other thing with the big extension, you slow down when you extend at the end. It's real tough to jump up and sweep your own rock. He didn't even try. You go back to 0 speed, the rock speeds up, and you'll never catch it to sweep a hit like that.
So here's Tori Koana. Looks like they're just looking to lay one in there.
Just throwing the guard, I think.
So very good shot. Interesting placement. That takes a runaway. Maybe.
Does it? Yeah, I think probably got to look at a double run. I'd go yellow over top of the one they just threw. And if it makes contact with the blue at the top of the 4-foot, anything on the outside of it, it's going to push the blue into the yellow and spin it back in towards the button. This is a lot of ice for that. He's maybe trying to get directly to the yellow that was just thrown. Yellow onto blue into the button area.
Just a little tap up.
Yeah, you might do it with like a hack weight, because that blue, it's hard to tell from the camera angle, that they'll have a better idea of it at the ice, but it almost looks like the blue and the yellow are touching. And if they are, you can put it off the side of the yellow and it'll just spin pretty much directly back. And kicking that yellow out into the open might help him with the last one.
All right, so here's Gill bringing his own on down, looking for the tap up. You raise the one onto the blue, and you're right up there and almost frozen on. But
yeah, you got shot rock, but I'm not sure that was exactly the way they had it drawn up, and it didn't leave them much for the last one.
yeah, it's definitely threatened there. Go ahead, Sean.
Aoki's going to try to leave them a lot less. I mean, there's room for him to get to the face, or maybe just slightly to the inside of that blue stone. If he could tap it back, what would you say? He probably only has to tap it about 6 inches to sit two buried on the button.
So final stone for Aoki in the second end.
65, 70, 70 må nesten ha. For der så er det helt greit.
Going to have to go in the brush to hold the shooter. This is over curling on him a bit.
Does get the job done, and they sit two.
Yep.
So how do you score here?
All I'm seeing is you have to come off the blue in the 12-foot. On the W in the Westland Insurance, you come off of it into that yellow that was just thrown and try to double the yellows. You're going to lose one of the blues off the back.
Could he get it going enough to get 2?
Yep, for sure. If you because your shooter comes into that yellow at the top of the button, if you dead stick it, that's your 1, and you're going to lose the one at the very back of the forefoot, but the other one that's just nibbling the button is nothing's touching it either. So it's possible for 2. Now, the other side of that is it's possible this could go horribly wrong. And that's, that happens in doubles. That's one of the things with so many rocks in play and so close together. You don't have to be too far off on the angles and things can go bad. This is a shot where it looks like they're going to have, rather than hold the broom, we saw Dean put the broom down, but that was just so that Tahli would have an idea where it is, and now he's coming down, so they've got a brusher on this right out of her hand.
So Tahli Gill, final stone, end number 2. Looking to come in off their own. Got to get there. Got to hold it there. Now, come on in. You catch it. Oh, very close indeed. But just a little bit too off the wrong angle. So it's going to be a steal 1.
Just a little thin, but it wasn't the disaster that it could have been.
So they trail by 2, heading to 3. We'll be back after this.
Imagine being able to stream every curling game from every sheet from any event, be it your Wednesday league game, bonspiel, or corporate event. Curling Stadium offers an all-inclusive streaming solution featuring high-quality cameras, ease of use, great reliability, and minimal installation. Offering your sponsors customizable ad space on your streamed curling games and being able to sell video packages to your corporate events for increased revenue. With Curling Stadium, you can stream to any device, be it your mobile phone, tablet, or computer. Push the feed to your desired platform, be it Facebook, YouTube, or any other social media. Curling Stadium is simply the way forward. Where it's commonplace in other sports to televise every game, we want to do the same. Curling is a global sport, and it's time it gets the coverage it needs. Make your curling club the next Curling Stadium.
Okay, so here we are checking in on our other semifinal game here. We have the game between Cailey and Lil and Skosling and Nedregatten. And it's a 2-0 score right now.
I think it's probably changed because that looked like they were just starting the third end, but they haven't marked up the second yet.
Sure enough.
and I'm checking our live scores and we don't have it yet either, but it certainly looked like they were just starting the third end. Skosling and Nedregatten with the yellows had picked up a deuce in the opening end. We know that.
So back here in our game, Gill and Hewitt need to try to finally start to make something happen.
Working hard to try to get that by, just rubs the guard. The end started with a nice freeze at the back of the forefoot. They were trying to follow it down, sit on top of it. Could have had the pinhole covered with protection from the back. That's just unfortunate that they rubbed the guard on the way by.
So now Tori Koana sails in to throw her first of the third.
Haven't touched it yet. This looks like it's a little warm.
And it's going to find its way to the back H foot. So a second chance opportunity here to try to get started here.
that stone back there actually helps Hewitt and Gill. If there's a chance to hit that yellow some point in time later, the blue will jam at the backs. Could end up as an extra point that way.
A little curious if they're coming at it from the draw this direction.
It probably looks better from it was the shot they just attempted on the first one too, with moving the guard over, the stagger. Visually it looks better, but with the amount of curl on this ice, they could do it from either side easy enough.
That's going to come on down. It's got a little bit of a jostle weight there, so it does unlock those stones.
She actually swept that back yellow rather aggressively. Yet it stayed, but which is good. I don't think I would have wanted that out. Everything is still lined up for that blue to jam on the yellow. I don't think I would have wanted it to leave.
That's what that's what really makes the doubles game so much more like chess, because it's so much set.
Well, there gets to be so many rocks touching the forwards. Like I said last time, there's so many rocks so close together. There's always angles you can play, and there's the potential for big ends because the angles you can hit everything just right. There is always, because they're that close together, there's a potential it could go horribly wrong because there's so many rocks, and if you're an inch off what you're looking for, well, it's still going to hit something.
This one comes just across the face, and talking about the angles, that just kind of shifted the angles in yellow's favor, I would think.
It depends. You could probably hit that with some weight on the outside and drag the blue into the yellow. Might be the shot to play now, actually. The only problem is that the shot rock could have been behind the tee line. But if you hit half a rock on the yellow, drag the blue into the yellow, that yellow blue is still angled to go onto the one at the back of the 12-foot. You could kill two yellows here and potentially maybe all three yellows, and leave three blues in the rings. The shooter's going to go.
Well, one thing's for certain, we're not doing that.
No. No, and I would say that so far from what we've seen early in this game, the Gill Hewitt team has been a little reluctant to throw those types of shots. He did throw the one attempt, the big weight, probably threw more weight than he needed to, and didn't throw it, set it back when he had the extension.
So just looking to come on down to the corner.
Plan B now is going to try to chisel off his own. That's, you see him trying to sweep to hold it straight. It still needs to curl a bit.
Well, they were able to massage that into a good, decent shot.
Yeah, it's still, that blue-yellow still gives him the angle to do that same type of smash that I was just talking about.
Now, looking on there, playing the blue double, that could help you.
Yeah, it's risky because it's really thin.
I think he's bringing up a very good point there. He could end up losing their own doing that.
Yeah. Yeah, you're half a rocket coming into the side of your own stone, and they still, everything they talked about seemed to be that they were playing that blue stone. Now, they might just be trying to peel out off of it, thinking that it's a danger to them where it sits. Definitely hitting it.
So here's Tori Koana there, trying that double attempt, at least to take it out.
Yeah, I don't think they're trying the double. I think they just want to peel that stone out. They probably didn't want to peel it out that direction. That was a little thinner than they would have liked to hit it.
That was a bit of an unfortunate miss, and it does leave the Gill Hewitt rank sitting 2 now.
And you noticed that yellow blue at the back that she made contact with, it did drag onto the yellow biter at the back. So there's still 4 blues in the rings. Now, if I have to look to remember who's throwing. Yeah, so it's Dean still got 1 rock left.
Yeah, Dean has 1 more, yeah.
If he plays that smash now, they're guarding.
Yeah, I think they're happy seeing 2 right now.
Are they sitting 2?
I do believe so. I'm willing to bet a quarter or a loonie or 100 yen coin on it.
Okay, I think it's only one. I think the yellow at the top of the button is still second shot.
Oh, well, yeah, there's that stone too. I don't know. I think the blue one gets it, but it's close. They had motioned as if it was theirs, so that's, I mean, that implies to me why they're guarding it, but... Maybe if we can cut to the overhead, we can get a good look at it. There we go. I think Aoki thought it was blue as well. So now they're looking at that run.
Yeah, they could run blue onto blue, which still could work bad for them, right? It's because of the angles on those front ones. I don't think she can hit this very hard. Or pardon me, it's Aoki throwing the last stone for this team. Don't think you can hit it very hard because I'd be afraid that that yellow one's going to pop out. They'll just be looking to play tap, tap. How many taps? I got to count them. Tap, 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 tap. To move that blue at the back of the fourth, or the back of the button, just enough to make sure that it's only one.
This needs to curl over. This is hanging on out there. It's going to just wick the blue, go right on by.
It's interesting too, though, because that actually took away the outside part of the button. Well, it doesn't really, but you can't see it now from the hacks. It's probably still there with the amount of curl there is.
Yeah, they're going to have to try to draw around that for 3. I think it's there.
Yeah, it's there to get enough of the button for sure.
So Tahli Gill is going to need a good part of the button here to tack on a 3rd point. The team from Brisbane, Australia. Last rock, bread number 3. Pretty positive release there.
Yeah, again, with a lot of rotation on this. Hold it out there for a while. And then as it starts to slow down, you'll still see it curl plenty. The problem is with the extra rotation, it carries further as well, and this is going to be heavy.
That looks a little hot. It's going to slide on by. And one for sure. Are they going to measure?
Actually surprised they haven't moved the shot arc out of the way.
There it goes.
I've always been of the opinion if you have to look at it that long, just measure it.
Oh, they're going to go get the stick. Maybe we can grab the score off the other sheet while we're waiting.
Talvi and Lil scored 1 in the second, so Skuzlin and Nedrigot, and apologies if I've mispronounced those, they've got the 2-1 lead and last rock as they were playing in the third there.
Okay, so now here's the measuring device if you've never seen it. So basically, you just lock it in, and that has a dial indicator on it. It's going to indicate a reading. Now you leave it right there, and if you get a higher reading on the other rack, that's the shot stone.
And then you hope they'll point at it.
And you usually move it towards the middle so everybody knows.
But I didn't, so we'll find out when we get back.
All right, see you in a moment.
Oh, we find out before we get.
There you
it
go.
was for 2.
It is indeed a disc. We'll be right back after this.
I don't remember a time when curling wasn't a part of my life. when I wasn't putting in the sweat and hard work to be the best that I can be. Clocking in the time, the effort to practice day in, day out. Curling is more than just a game. It's a family, a community. And when it's time to play, I know I'll be ready. Hardline, supporting hundreds of our next generation athletes.
Fourth end action here from Vernon BC in the Mixed Doubles Super Series presented by Curling Stadium Vernon. Dave Schmel with Sean Joyce here, and we just tied up the game with that last end. First come around was made, and now with hammer in the Yellow Rocks, we have Tori, Koana, and Aoki.
Tahli Gill has had great weight on her draws to start off the end. She had nice weight on the one last end as well, just rubbed the guard. We've seen her have to throw a couple of draws with her last one where she throws that extra rotation, and she just hasn't. You've got to throw less weight when you throw extra rotation because it's going to carry further. And she's got the right idea, throwing the rotation to hold it out there. She hasn't pulled enough off from her leg drive yet. She's been heavy on the two attempts where she tried it.
So with this shot, you're looking just to lock on here?
Yeah, lock on. You might need to move the blue a couple of inches to make sure your shot rocked. They didn't come right down to the freeze, and I like that call if you can make it. It's tough.
This one has to find its way around the guard. It's going to be really close. Great brush, and they just get by. And they do exactly as intended. So once again, we go back to this cat and mouse game.
Yeah, there's so much of that. I mean, it's there, four-player curling too, but there's so much of it in the doubles. I'm a little surprised they're coming from this side. I mean, you can get there from either side, but it does look visually better from the other turn now. You've got the angle you've got set up at the back. You'd love to get the same angle on this one. So playing this out turn, after he gets by the guard, he needs to over-curl that stone at the top of the button.
Right, so the classic setup is having them kind of half the rock of each one sticking out either side.
Didn't get the curl he needed, just taps it onto the blue. That yellow on the button isn't going anywhere in a hurry.
So knowing that with hammer, how do you try to find a way to score a second?
Well, you'd like to get something angled on that blue at the top of the 4 foot so that you had a way to get it moved later. And it's the same thing. You want to angle it. If we look at the overhead, because it's still there in the inset, if you could be angled on the right-hand corner of that stone at the top of the 4 foot so that you have a way to get it out. You don't need to kill it yet. You need to have a way to get it out. And of course, when you play a freeze, now when you make the play to move that blue stone, the stone that's frozen stays right there. You don't want to give up control of the top of the 4 foot. You know, they could play to pick it out now, but then would be Dean Hewitt would be throwing next. He'll just put one in tighter on the freeze.
I think that set up really nice.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
Because now that yellow shot stone still isn't going anywhere.
No, and the angle yellow onto the blue that you just tapped up, you can actually clear the yellow at the button. You don't even have to jiggle the blue one at the back. Mind you, if it comes to last rock, you might want to jiggle the blue one at the back.
So it's really dangerous if you're Gill and Hewitt here, because yeah, you can unlock it by hitting the blue that's on the top of the button, but that's very dangerous too, because now it gives them an opportunity for yellow to clear out the rest of your blues.
Well, that's the choice you have to make, right? If you don't unlock it, you're never moving that stone. So it's not just a question of unlock it, which I think is the play. You got to be concerned with where everything's going to go. You can't unlock it with a lot of weight because the blue will pop out in the open and give you something to come off of. You've got to watch where the shooter ends up.
Truly so much finesse in the doubles game.
Yeah.
This one's starting to jump on him.
Yeah, he's going to chip the yellow. Don't think he was looking to move it on that one. Might be content to try to hold him to a single. That's really tough to do in this house.
Yeah,
all the angles right now, favor the Koana Aoki team.
Absolutely, and I saw Aoki motion right away. They want to play that yellow onto the blue right now.
Yeah, the only question will be how much weight. You don't really need to whip this. It's you play 4-player and everybody's always thinking about killing stones. Well, you don't need to kill that stone. You just need to get it out of the 4-foot. And it might be better to keep your shooter up there. If you could ever keep your shooter on say, the N in insurance, that's still a rock you could use.
So Koana with the delivery, Aoki on the sweep. This one starting to curl pretty hard. They're going to have to hold the line to get there. Okay, we're going to make contact. Kick it over just enough. And now that blue's not there anymore.
Yeah, they opted for the big roll so that they wouldn't leave a double. I think the double is probably still there. Now, we saw an earlier attempt at the game. Dean Hewitt played the big weight. I don't want to be too critical. It doesn't look like that's his strength. So it's not the first thing they're going to look at.
Well, that's always what you want to do. You want to call the shot that you feel best making. That's ultimately always the best shot, the one that you're going to make.
Yeah. As long as you make whatever you call, you don't usually get into too much trouble.
Now I'm looking at that one on the tee line, the Yellowstone, and I'm thinking that's my ticket to eject that bluestone later.
It might be. It's tough because it's thinner than you think to get like the double. As much as the two yellows look flat, because they're so close together, they're only about just over 3 feet apart. It's not as flat as it looks. You look at where the bluestone would be when it makes contact with the yellow. It's still fully in front of that stone that's on the button. You know, you're half a rock. You're pretty close to coming into the side of that yellow rock. To get to the blue one is really thin.
All right, Dean Hewitt electing to throw a draw here instead. Step another corner.
This is dangerous. Yeah, I think they're just playing straight guard. To come in, there's a lot of risk that you could set up yellow onto blue.
So now they're going to have to explore the angles here because they have 3 yellows in the 4-foot but are only counting 1. They'd love to find a way to change that. So how do you do it?
Well, you could certainly do it with draw weight. Just tap the yellow up into the second shot position. But the other thing is there's potential for a big end here if you could unlock that back blue. I think what they're looking at, with some weight here, clip the side of the bluestone at the top of the 8-foot, kind of drive it across the top of the one in the top 4-foot so that it comes straight back, yellow onto yellow, and just move that back blue and you'll unlock the 2. You might lose the back yellow, but you'd be sitting 2 now and room to get a third one in.
This one's coming down. It looks to have maybe back line-ish weight. And they're going to try to do just that. Onto the blue, the yellow changes the angles, but did it change them for the good?
Well, I would have said they needed to hit that blue thinner.
So if you're Gill and Hewitt here, you have to start to be feeling the footsteps, so to speak. What's the best defense?
I'm coming off the yellow they just threw into the 2 yellows at the top of the button. Probably only killing one of them, but how do they get a second point if you do that?
You're probably lodging another one of yours in there really tight.
Yeah, exactly. They're looking at coming down and tapping the blue at the top of the 8-foot, try to get it straight back. It's probably there. It's tough. She can be a little bit to the broom side and tap it onto the one that was just moved up, and then it'll spill to the top of the button. She could certainly hold them to 1 that way.
It's worth taking a look at the angles. And
yeah, well, he's looking at what he could see. It didn't look great. He might have seen the shot that I was looking at, too.
Yep, there he goes looking now.
It's to my eye, it looks a little easier, partly because you've got, it can come into either one of those 2 yellows and you're good. If it comes into the top one and moves it over, you're still going to be sitting frozen on the back one at the top of the button. Even if it comes just dead into the side of the one that's shot rock and stays right there, you're going to be sitting second and it's tough to get it out.
Looks like that's a shot that he's selling. Is Tahli buying it?
That's an interesting question. There's no time clocks in play here, so I'm really surprised she didn't come down and take a look at the angle.
So am I. You took the words directly out of my mouth.
Well, it's just, it's easier to buy into a shot when you see it, right? And she's at the far end.
So here we come with the big weight, trying to throw the double. Get a good gear off of it. It's got to come up. It's going to be really close. Off the 1, into the hole.
Oh, bad break.
Bends up. That is a bad break. Leaves them 2 yellows lying.
See it, right? And she's at the far end.
So here we come with the big weight, trying to throw the double. Get a good gear off of it. It's got to come up. It's going to be really close. Off the 1, into the hole.
Oh, bad break.
Ben.
It's just a whisker thinner and she goes dead into that rock. A whisker thicker and she goes into the pocket of the, or thicker, yeah, and she goes into the pocket of the 2 yellows and then it doesn't spin up. That's just a bad break to spin up like that.
It was a very well thrown stone, that's for sure. Okay, now go Aoki. Got a tough draw, but if he can get a good piece of the button, they'll get 3. Sitting 2. Needs the button.
On the tee line, this should be close. It should move at the end.
Wait's really close. It's got to come around. It's got to make it. It's going to slide just right on by. That's going to be, so it'll be a score of 2 for yellow, and they'll take the lead 4-2. We'll be back after this.
Handcrafted in Canada in the revolution.
Yeah, maybe.
Back here in number 5.
We were
4-2 in favor of Koana and Aoki, and that's right, we were speculating.
And we were wrong. Thought we might see the power play here. There's still 4 ends left, so yeah, presumably you should still get another chance with the hammer later on. That's always the tough part of making this decision when you use your power play. You've got to have the hammer to do it. Steals are so common in this game. You might have it way too many times, or if you start stealing, you might never get it. When you're stealing, you don't likely need it. But if you try to save it for the 8th end and you don't happen to have the hammer in the 8th end, you don't get to use it at all.
So the first come around made it there. This one splits the guard off. Looks like it may have caught something on the ice. Yeah, just past the hog line. So.
Splitting the guard off isn't the end of the world, though. You've got last rock. Realistically, in a traditional game, you don't want everything on the center anyway.
There's another difference between fours. There's not a no-tick rule here.
No, yeah. Well, that would be overkill in this format, because it's not just a free guard zone, as you mentioned at the start. You can't remove anything from play. You can't remove these rocks in the rings yet either.
It's basically like a 5-rock Moncton rule, so to speak.
Sure.
Moncton rule being the first iteration of trying to put a guard zone in.
Yeah.
It definitely had to be quite an evolution to live through in the game.
Yeah, that's putting it mildly. It was quite the change for sure. I can remember hearing the story. I play seniors now, and one of the guys that I play with in seniors, Greg Harper, played for a lot of years with his brother Doug, and they went to a few Briars, and they went to one of the early Briars with the free guard zone. And so I've heard the story before. They're playing, I can't even remember who it is, their first game anyway, and we played on a lot of straight surfaces, or straight rocks in those days here in Saskatchewan, and so the free guard went up, and they threw the rock to the corner in the ring, assuming that the other team would hit it, because that's what they were used to. The other team ignored it and went around the center guard. And they didn't know what to do, because they'd never seen that before. We played on so much straight ice out here that just because there was a free guard didn't mean you could use it. So the strategy has generally had to evolve with every iteration of the free guard zone to what we have now. And even in the last 2 years, there's another evolution as they brought in the no-tick zone. Teams were getting so good at the tick shot, they decided they had to do something about that. I'm not a huge fan of that, to be honest. I like the tick shot. The tick shot is a skill shot, and it's a team shot, and I would rather they didn't remove it from the game.
Now, speaking of a skill shot, that's a pretty good guard put out there, but there is still access available.
Yeah, they left room this time.
It just finished at the end and kind of corkscrewed on the other side of the center line. So now Dean Hewitt's going to have an opportunity to come in there with a downweight shot.
Yeah, ideally here you want to have like back 8, back 12. Just enough to break up the freeze and then hit the yellow ever so slightly off the nose. It really doesn't matter which way, so that the blue comes straight back, but then you leave the blue-yellow in the back button angled, and you might be able to clear the blue with your last one, which is going to be needed to curl just a hair more. He's got shot rock, but you can see the angle on that blue-yellow. It's still going to catch the blue at the back 8. You're asking a lot to get everything out of one shot, but the potential is always there, right? This game is all about angles.
I mean, I won the RIS Santa for a new BMX bike. Doesn't mean I'm not allowed to ask.
Well, this end is probably one of the fewest rocks touching the forefoot that we've seen so far. You get so many rocks so close together, and it's all about angles.
Definitely probably going to see some long raises later on. This one comes in. It's, just wicks the guard. That's unfortunate break.
Well, it might be. It might not have been. Like, it was coming with enough weight and it was far enough out. If she gets to the blue, she probably rolls off of it and could leave a double on the yellows at the back of the forefoot. So I'm not... Because of the speed she had coming down, that might have been a better result.
So now here with the shot for Gill, you're obviously coming down to the stone in the house. How much weight, how much do you want to move the yellow?
You got to move it probably 6 inches to make sure you're sitting 2. And then it really depends how well you line it up. Like if you leave it lined up to jam, you'll want to leave it closer. If you can line up the two blues where you might be able to pick that yellow past the blue at the back of the 8-foot, then you might want to move it a little farther. It's just, everything depends on, it's all about line.
So here we come on up to it. It's going to tap it, release it, and there you go. You lie 2 right now.
Yeah, left it frozen at the back though, so you're never going to have a chance to get that yellow out now. And boy, for Koana and Aoki, you can see a piece of that blue. If Aoki can throw some weight with the drag, you catch that blue that was just delivered thin.
Right.
It'll shoot straight across. The blue on the button drags a bit. It'll catch the outside of the blue, or the inside, I guess, depending on which side you're looking at. The yellow at the back of the 4-foot, it should remove that blue at the back 8. All 3 blues could go here. Now, you won't be sitting anything better than just biting the 4-foot, but you'd have them facing 3 with their last one, and that's just that one port to draw through. Now, granted, they've done it the last 2, so they should know the line.
Now, right now, I guarantee he's saying that does not look as good as it looked from the other side.
No, he can only see maybe half of that rocket, probably less. But if he's going to make the double on the blues, he actually needs to get less than that.
Take another look at it.
He can maybe only see a quarter. Quarter's probably what he needs to hit.
All right, so final stone coming up for Aoki. And number 5, looking to really see if they can apply the pressure here. It's coming with some weight. And here we go. On the brush. Got to hurry past the guard. Oh, you wrecked it.
Yeah, a little in-out with the whole delivery. Like if you watch the slide, if we can, I don't know if you got it on the replay or not, but if you watch his delivery, he's actually sliding on the other side of the center line and set it back a little bit to try to hold it straight, but that inside-out release, he didn't get it back far enough to actually get by the guard.
And Koana, she just showed the nimbleness of a gazelle dodging those stones through the house.
This is interesting. We saw Tahli Gill try a similar shot earlier in the game. Now she was a little warm. It was one of those ones where she threw the rotation. She can't come to her own. If she comes to her own, the Yellowstone at the back of the 4-foot is still 3rd shot. Hard to come in towards the button from either turn because of where the corner guards are, so she's going to play to cross the center line and try to catch enough of the 4-foot that way. It's a tough shot. It's probably all she's got. She could chisel off her own stone at the top of the 4-foot. It's not going to go anywhere. The question would be whether she can catch enough of the 4-foot.
Final stone end number 5. You got 2 in the bank, trying to add a 3rd.
She's got that big rotation again, which will hold it straight. It should curl now. It's a question of where is it going to stop. This looks close.
Got to find some brakes. It slows down, and that is a fine curling shot. And they get their triple. It's 5-4 after 5. We'll be back from Vernon after this.
Handcrafted in Canada. Revolution.
Gripper first.
Don't forget the brooms.
Yep, you got it. Yellow.
Come on up. Well, what do you got? You got 1, you got 2, yeah!
Just one more throw, please.
You make moments like these possible.
So here we go. At end number 6, it's time for the power play. Explain the power play to us.
Well, it's just, I'm not sure that power play was ever the right term for it, but it was thought of as a way to play offense. But there's a couple of things that work with it. It also means it's very tough to steal. The pre-positioned stones now, instead of being on the center line, you've got the corner guard and then the one just in front of the tee line, behind the corner guard, and even the teams look to be laughing a little bit about this. It's always you have to remember where the stones go. So if you're in a situation where you need to steal in this game, and for Tahli and Gill, Tahli, Gill, and Team Hewitt, they don't need to steal now. They just picked up the point. So they'll try to freeze onto it and take away the corner guard that way. I've seen a few situations. Oh, no, they're not. They are playing for the steal. They're playing the center guard. This can get fun. This can get fun.
That sounds like a lot of fun. I've seen other situations where they've tried to split the other guard into the house and push it in.
You will see that once in a while. You can push the corner guard into the top of the rings because, again, you can't kill anything yet. But if you push it into the top of the rings, then the stone and that shot's actually made its way into 4-player curling. It's a way to deal with corner guards when you're still at the free guard zone. You push it into the rings, you can hit it later. This is going to get interesting because they threw the center guard in, and I saw the 2 power plays I saw last night. Neither of the teams did that. They were trying to steal. They were trying to defend against the big end. If you want to defend against the big end, you corner freeze that shot stone in the 8-foot, and it also kind of cuts off the corner guard. You throw the center. Now you could play for the steal.
So we have that second one in there. So now Koana and Aoki are trying to think 3 here, and Gill and Hewitt are going for the steal.
Yeah, it's not a full-out steal. This will be kind of a hybrid. They've got the center guard. It's a threat for later. For now, they're going to play the freeze into the 2 yellows, try to take away the 2 yellow stones on the corner that way. In this way, it's very similar to when you see in 4-player curling, a team that will throw up the corner guard, then they may not use it right away, but it affects the strategy of the other team when it's there, right? There's always the threat.
That comes on in, but there's enough separation. You could probably dig that out later.
Could. It's not easy because the corner of that blue stone is under the corner guard. You'd have to get to the nose.
Well, we saw this team make a really nifty shot, and they actually drew and threw a lightweight. Well, they threw a lightweight back line shot all the way around the outside guard. It was awesome. So they definitely have this in their playbook.
Yeah, I think all they'll be looking to do here is just come down to the face of that blue, tap it a little bit so that they release the yellow, and stay in front of the blue so they can pass it by the 2 yellows later. She needs, maybe back 8-foot weight on this. It'll be all about the line. And the fact that he's not even bending at the waist yet means it's got a lot of line.
Oh, that's pretty good.
Yeah. Just probably a little more weight than I was expecting. She tapped that blue, popped it a little farther than she might have been thinking, because now the yellow-blue, the angle on it is still where she'd have to get at least to the nose on the yellow, which she could just do now.
Now this shot's going to be really important to be buried because you don't want to leave the double on back.
This is your best guard sometime this second shot, and really, if you get to the top of the button here, it does bring the steal into play. Get to the back of the button, it probably is the double.
So here's Dean Hewitt trying to get the draw. Getting past the guard first. Now get the weight there, but don't stick out the other side. Gotta get the weight, gotta drag it a little further than that guy. It's gotta go a touch further. And it is maybe 3rd shot.
Yeah, maybe 4th.
Very, very, very close. Aoki seems to be pointing that it's blue.
Yeah, he says it might be 3rds.
Now, see, that pointing, that's what we need them to do when they did the
Yeah.
measure.
I'm good with it. They should just have to point anytime they have to look at a rock twice. Just if it's close enough that you got to look at it, then obviously we can't tell. So you got to tell us.
I want to give it a welcome to all of our friends, both in Japan and Australia, who are picking us up. Happy to have you with us here. Sixth end of the semifinals from Vernon, BC, mixed double Super Series Spiel, presented by Curling Stadium Vernon. This looks to be curling a whole bunch.
No, that's good. She's got to get across the face on that yellow stone.
And taps it up and pushes it back. And now it is, they are sitting 2. And I do believe blue is 3 and 4 right now.
Yeah, I think so now. 3 for sure at the back. And really hard to make a play on the yellows. They can get at the shot rock. They can't see very much of it, maybe half.
What does the run of the corner guard do for you?
Probably jam. It's the 2 yellows that are shot and second shot are pretty close to lined up to the blue at the back of the 12-foot.
I just want to know the whole menu before I make an order.
This is a tough shot.
So what makes it tough, Sean?
Well, you're freezing on the corner of a rock that you can only see half of it, but keep in mind how much curl we've seen. So by the time you're by the center guard, you still have, it's getting by that stone at the top of the, it's just biting the top of the 8-foot to corner freeze onto the shot stone. And keep in mind how much curl we see on these rocks coming into the house. Like, I think you're going to have to be tight to the center guard to make this. And I think they've decided it doesn't look so good from the hack, so he's coming around the center now.
So what's your ideal depth here?
Well, you've already got 2 against you. The key here is you got to be dead buried behind the 2 blue stones. If you have to go back 4 foot to do that, well then sweep it to the back 4 foot. But ideally, the higher in the house you can get this, if you were biting the top of the button and dead buried, that doesn't give them much room to come around and try to tap it. That's the ideal.
They just squeak by, and they pull it on down to the full 4 foot. Angles are still there, though, and might be that shot off their own.
Well, and there's probably room to get at it on the out turn, too. They're not looking at that.
Yeah, I definitely think you could pick that out.
That's why I said
It'd be my first choice.
Critical to bury it. It just probably needed to come another foot deeper, and it's dead buried. They were working on it. They were giving it everything they could.
Definitely a couple different options here as they try to line them up. Let's see if we can't figure out the score of our other game.
They're looking at the run. So center blue guard back into the blue at the top of the 12, onto the shot stone at the top of the 4 foot. The problem here, even if you make it, I have a hard time seeing that one of those blues is going to come into the 3 yellows at the side.
Other match in the 7th end is the Norwegians holding a 6-5 lead over the Estonians.
She might have been a little full on that. There's a danger she could be jamming this blue into the yellows.
And it does. That opens up an awful lot here.
Yeah, that could have been worse. It opened up the shot rock. She still left herself sitting second.
Match in the 7th end is the Norwegians holding a 6-5 lead over the Estonians.
She might have been a little full on that. There's a danger she could be jamming this blue into the yellows.
And it does. It opens up an awful lot.
4 foot. But the spill off the 3 yellows at the side wasn't bad at all. She left 2 of them in there, and still tough for... by the time the game was over, I'll remember who's throwing which stone. So Tahli Gill throws the last one for this team.
Looks like they're trying to come in and protect against a big end here.
Yeah, they could make a play onto the yellows, pick one of them, but the shot stone's not covered. You can kind of do, you can play a draw, get half around the yellow guard into the full 8 foot, kind of by the U in insurance, and kind of Christmas tree them.
All right, so here's Tahli Gill. Throwing a guard here of some sort.
Yeah, I think they want it right into the 8 foot. I would want it right into the 8 foot. Line looks really good for that.
Oh, this one's jumping.
Yeah, it's going now. It's not going to cover any of that. You have to make sure it's second.
Now this is interesting because we found out from our protection team that between ends they actually switched out one of their stones. Don't know exactly which one. For the unused rack.
Yeah.
So now with that, is there a double there to make 3?
Maybe. I mean, they're going to go after the stone of the button first, and if you could just skinny by the other one, the shooter will come across. Now it's already going to be a little bit behind, so it's going to catch the back end of that blue, and you'd hope that it'll push it out. It only has to get to half out of the 8 foot, and it would be for 3.
All right, so go Aoki. Final stone, end number 6. Looking for a big shot here. It's going to be past the guard. Now we'll get it. The other blue. It moves it. Does it go far enough? No, it's just a single. 1 yellow held to a single point in their power play. We're tied up after 6. We'll be back from Vernon right after this.
Imagine being able to stream every curling game from every sheet from any event, be it your Wednesday league game, bonspiel, or corporate event. Curling Stadium offers an all-inclusive streaming solution featuring high-quality cameras, ease of use, great reliability, and minimal installation. Offering your sponsors customizable ad space on your streamed curling games and being able to sell video packages to your corporate events for increased revenue. With Curling Stadium, you can stream to any device, be it your mobile phone, tablet, or computer. Push the feed to your desired platform, be it Facebook, YouTube, or any other social media. Curling Stadium is simply the way forward. Where it's commonplace in other sports to televise every game, we want to do the same. Curling is a global sport, and it's time it gets the coverage it needs. Make your curling club the next Curling Stadium.
Do you have the last shot?
Really, it only has to get to half out of the 8 foot, and it would be for 3.
All right, so go Aoki. Final stone, end number 6. Looking for a big shot here. It's going to be past the guard. Now we'll get it. The other blue. It moves it. Does it go far enough?
After he gets by the blue, hits the shot stone a little thicker than he needed to. If he was going to kick it far enough, shooter came across and he touched it. But if you're playing the other turn into it, the in turn into it, and curling at the end, so you're coming off that shot stone, you get it a little bit thinner. He only needed to move it a couple more inches to get 2, and it's surprising to be through that turn.
So we're back to live action, and we're still on the power play. This time it shifts over to Hewitt and Gill. Let's see how they approach this one.
Well, we've already seen a different approach to how they Koana and Aoki team wants to defend it. They played the corner freeze right away, and there's the first violation of the I don't even know what they call the rule, but it's not just free guards. As I said, you can't kill anything. They were looking to tap, but they removed their own stone. You can't even remove your own stones. So now everything goes back where it was, and the shooter removed from play.
So that's a real obvious disadvantage. You only get 5 stones, and you just lost one.
Yeah.
So now, where do you go here? Do you guard that, or do you... I mean, I almost feel like to defend against a deuce here, you could throw the other side, or maybe, I don't know.
Yeah, there's a couple of ways you can go at it. There's no chance I'm ever, myself, would come in there again. If you come around the corner guard, you're just playing where the other team wants you. It'd be tempting to throw the center guard here now, actually.
Another place I might be tempted to throw would be to the back 8, maybe, because that double would always jam the blue out.
Yeah, a lot of rocks to come yet, and they're just going to try to jiggle that yellow first. This looks like they're throwing a corner guard. I
think you're doing your opponent a favor there.
Yep, for sure. Yeah, I hate that call. I really do. It's kind of, I've said before many times in the 4-player game, doing games over the years, I hate when the team with last rock throws a center guard. Well, this is kind of the reverse of that. The team without last rock is throwing a corner, and that's a rock your opponent can use. And here we go. Dean Hewitt's going to try to use it right now. He would have had a hard time getting a rock buried. Well, he couldn't have got a rock buried and corner frozen at all before. Now he can.
So we're going to be around the guard just fine, it appears. Now just kind of get the weight. And you're going to come right on down to that yellow. Tap it a little bit, but there you go, just like you were saying, Sean.
A little strong. He got more separation on the 2 than he would have liked. Or didn't get enough to the face. Like if he gets closer to the face of the yellow, then the way he taps it would have released yellow from the back blue. But
So now you have Koana and Aoki chasing when I don't feel like they had to be chasing.
well, the one thing that they've got going in their favor, the yellow-blue at the T line, the corner freeze is still in their favor. So she could actually come at this with some weight. If she taps the blue, even if it touches the yellow's not going anywhere.
This one's on the move right from the get-go. All right.
By the guard, sweep from the other side for curl.
That's a nifty curling shot there.
Yeah,
it's not
that's
bad.
Really good.
Because sure, yeah, the other team shot, but now it's behind the tee.
Yeah, there's that Yellowstone that was just thrown is a problem for Gill and Hewitt, and they can't do much about it. They can't hit it with any weight. It's jamming on something and coming back to the middle. Looks like they've decided the best they can do is try to guard it.
And then try to start over again and wrap
Well,
around again.
They still have shot rock at the back of the 8-foot, so you take away any chance to tap that yellow up. That's one part of it. Now the other problem is that before you get to throw again, your opposition gets to throw a rock. So you're taking away their easiest shot, but they still have options, and they get to throw next.
Yeah, that's the annoying part of this game. The opponents get to throw too. Don't know if that's out there or not.
Yeah, I don't think it is.
We've seen such good finish here.
Well, and there's a couple of ways they could come at this too. Like you could look to try to get close to the nose and just tap the yellow up a few inches, sit shot. The other option would be to try to throw like back 8-foot-ish weight, hit about half of the yellow, which will put it onto the other yellow, and then spin it back in towards shot rock. You're not looking to remove it, just looking to sit in front of it, and it'll leave your shooter out in the open a little bit more, where it's still usable and still a problem for Gill and Hewitt.
So here's a stone from Tori Koana. Key shot here is going to define the shape of the end.
Got room by the front one. So now switching the sides to try to get a little extra curl. Had the line for the shot I was talking about, didn't have the weight for it.
So it is still blue shot in the back.
Yellow at the top of the 8th is still a problem though. And I think they're guarding it again.
I do think you're right there, partner. So here's Dean Hewitt on the guard attempt. Trying to find a way to get their deuce with the power play. This looks a little big.
Is he trying to come right around everything maybe? He's not going to make it.
Now I think you just gave him some angles to make it double.
Yeah.
So how much of that top stone do you hit?
You always have to defer to the players on the ice because the cameras can be a little misleading on the angles, but it does look like it's about half, maybe even a thick half, which is always good. Like as a thrower, 4-player, 2-player doesn't really make any difference. Anytime you're looking to hit half or more, that's a lot more comfortable. You start trying to hit a quarter and you're flirting with missing it. Psychologically, those are just harder to throw.
Aoki with his last shot at the end. Looking to make the double, and yes, he does. And they lie 3.
4-player, 2-player doesn't really make any difference. Anytime you're looking to hit half or more, that's a lot more comfortable. You start trying to hit a quarter and you're flirting with missing it. Psychologically, those are just harder to throw.
Aoki with his last shot at the end. Looking to make the double, and yes, he does.
But he didn't back it up at all.
So now it's going to be a force. Final stone for Gill and Hewitt. Just need to grab a piece of the 4. And that draw is going to make it all the way home. So they score their single. They take the 1-point lead. But Koana and Aoki will have the hammer coming home. We'll be back right after this.
I don't remember a time when curling wasn't a part of my life. When I wasn't putting in the sweat and hard work to be the best that I can be. Clocking in the time, the effort to practice day in, day out. Curling is more than just a game. It's a family, a community. And when it's time to play, I know I'll be ready. Hardline, supporting hundreds of our next generation athletes.
Back here in Vernon, final end. Gill and Hewitt held to a single point in their power play. Result of a rough lead by them and a nice follow-up double made by Aoki.
The first thing I'm going to say about that is it's presumptuous of you to think this is the final end.
Of boy can dream. We need a break.
I wouldn't be shocked to see an extra. This game has been so close both ways. It's
been a fine match for sure.
It wouldn't shock me at all.
So, if you're looking to get to that extra and looking to make sure you get the force, what's the best way to play here?
You know, it's a tough situation. It's really hard to play full force to force a single when your opposition is trying to score 2. So you almost have to play this like a steal. And that's true for 4-player curling too. You're only one up coming home and the other team's got last rock. You almost have to play it like a steal, and then see how the end evolves. Later on, you might be able to turn it into a force situation, but if you try that from the start, it's just really hard to defend against an offensive team in a free guard zone. And it's only a 1-point difference, and that first stone's in an excellent position. Like if you're playing for a steal, that's a great first shot.
So now to counter this, we're going to try to come on down and get in there and jiggle the angle some. They jiggle it back and out of shot position, but still in play, so it's no violation there.
So Gill indicating that the hit and roll, it's not a full weight hit. She's just looking to tap it. They can't remove that stone yet.
So here's Hewitt.
Just to the inside if he could. This is close. It's real close.
They got there, they push it back, and they lie second at the moment. Still in a good position. Koana and Aoki have to address it. As the Norwegians with a 7-5 lead over the Estonians, they're playing the 8th right now. We're setting up our final. We have some business here first. So Tori Koana with her second.
Going to move that blue again. It's going to be hard to keep her shooter in behind cover this time, though.
And it does come out open. So now the hit parade can begin if they like.
Can. So can the freezes. So there's. This is where you have to make a decision if you're Gill and Hewitt. Are we playing straight out for the steal? Because you're right. They could just play a double on yellows, get their force here, but there's a pocket at the back of the forefoot. This looks like a chance to steal it right here.
So Hewitt's shot.
This looks strong. He doesn't want to move that yellow.
He's going to move it just a little bit, but it's not too bad. That leaves a pocket for Koana and Aoki to come into.
Well, it does, but you're getting to the point where how do you ever sit 2? And there's still that yellow sitting on forefoot on the other side that you freeze this into the pocket. They can always come off of it. Hewitt and Gill can, and come into the shot stone, move it over sideways a little bit. So this is same thing. She really doesn't want to move any of those blues, but if you don't move them, how are you getting 2? You have to make sure you got your 1 first.
So another one of these delicate little shots here. Aoki's got to work hard to hold the line.
Not sure it's by the guard.
awfully close, and he's going to wreck it. Open things wide open now. So now if you're Koana and Aoki, you might be looking at a way to try to find a way to make sure you can score one.
Yep.
They might have to be the ones blasting with the next rock.
They might have to be. I would imagine that Dean Hewitt's just going to try to freeze onto his own shot stone again and just offset it a little bit towards the other blue, and then this stone doesn't go anywhere. At least in one attempt. It actually might take 2 attempts before you'd have a way to get it out. Gonna have to go for line. He needs to keep this on the broom side. They're actually... Did they play this as a straight guard all the way? Maybe they did.
Well, whether they played it or not, that's what they got. So, how do you find a way to score 2 here? Or make sure you score 1? Do you just draw in there now and lock it in?
You've got to make the draw here to make sure you got a chance to score. You know, ideally, you'd love to have enough weight to unlock the blue at the back of the button, but it's tough. You might be able to chisel off the second shot and come onto the shot rock. You don't need to move that back yellow very far, but you have to move it because right now you don't have a way to get the blue out of the back of the button.
So the final stone of the 8th end for Tori Koana.
If you just make the dead freeze, you're probably in good shape to score. If you can unlock it, you might have a shot for 2 yet.
All right, past the guard, no problem this time. We're coming down to it. We're gonna unlock it, and we did.
Yeah, that moves it enough.
You sit 1 now. Can they ever get across far enough to get a good angle on it? Or shoot that port? Nah, that's not gonna do you anything.
Well, I mean, if you shoot the port, you rattle off the 1 yellow into the one that was just thrown and sit buried. The problem is if you rub the guards, you lose the game pretty easy. Like if you don't throw right now, it's not a gimme that they get 2, but if you ever kill the guard, it's hard to miss. So I think you throw in the draw. Ideally, you'd like to get just to the inside of the yellow that was just thrown. And if you get to the inside of it, you can tap it a little bit.
So final shot for Tahli Gill in the 8th end. Hewitt's on it right out of her hand. It's not light.
Oh, she throws extra rotation, so the line will hold.
Now it's starting to bite. The line's looking really peachy.
Needs to curl.
Just get up to the inside, up to the inside. Okay, well, it's 1 yellow, so how do you ever make 2? You think they could try to shoot the port now?
Yeah, they can.
I think that's precisely what they're looking at.
I don't think there's any way you could ever hit that yellow thin enough to hurt yourself. You either make the port and you come across into the blue, or you crash the guards and go to the extra. It's not a huge port, especially with nobody in the house to call line. Every person who's ever thrown a rock likes to call line on their own rocks. It's not. You're not as good with the line calls when you're on that side of the rock, for sure.
Oh, absolutely. I 100% agree. Doesn't stop people from doing it, though.
Yeah. Oh, we all do it, yeah.
So go Aoki. Final stone, end number 8. Looking for the big shot for the win right here. Got to get through the hole. Can you get through the hole? You get through. Oh, you just wick off
Pick
and
his
oh
own
my
out.
goodness. What a disastrous. Oh my goodness, and it's a steal of 2.
Look at Tahli Gill's face.
The game for Tahli Gill and Dean Hewitt. hang 2 for blue, and it's 8-5 final. So go Aoki. Final stone, end number 8. Looking for the big shot for the win right here. Got to get through the hole. Can you get through the hole? You get through. Oh, you just wick off.
Picked
And
his
oh
own
my
out.
goodness. What a disaster.
Shot out. You wouldn't even have seen it as a possible call if you needed to do that. Comes between the blues, catches the side of his own yellow, and with the action and weight, removes it. And, well, no extra end anyway. Wow.
Well, oh, wow, oh, wow. Well, we gave you entertainment here, and we got more of it coming up in the finals. So for right now, I'm Dave Schmel. He's Sean Joyce. Ryan Jakes was on the 1s and 2s. Thank you very much for joining us. We'll be back for the finals on Curling Stadium.
I don't remember a time when curling wasn't a part of my life. When I wasn't putting in the sweat and hard work to be the best that I can be. Clocking in the time, the effort to practice day in, day out. Curling is more than just a game. It's a family, a community. And when it's time to play, I know I'll be ready. Hardline, supporting hundreds of our next generation athletes.